Okay, bila dah 10 minutes akan ada 2 ranks. So, you guys alert Testing.
Assalamualaikum and very good morning, distinguished judges, esteemed guests, and dear students. Before we start, let us recite Surah Al-Fatiha. A'udzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Malik yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. My name is Amir Harith and I will be your host for today. To bless our event today, I would like to call Mir Fahim Zufri from Primary 5 Al-Bukhari to lead our dua recitation.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma fir lana dhunubana wa liwalidina warhamhum kama rabbawna shighara wa li jami'il muslimina wal muslimat wal mu'minina wal mu'minat wal mu'allimina wal mu'allimat al ahya'i minhum wa amwat bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Allahumma inna a'udzu bika minal barasi wal jununi wal judami wa min sayyi'il asqam. Allahumma aftah 'alaina hikmataka wanshur 'alaina min khazaini rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Amin, amin, ya Rabbal Alameen. Thank you, Fahim, for leading the dua recitation. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to our channel as well as following us on social media. Welcome to our co-curricular day presentation, where we are excited to explore the fascinating world of invertebrates. Our talented students have been hard work researching and preparing to present their insights on various groups of invertebrates, from the tiniest insects to the most mysterious marine creatures. These presentations will showcase the diversity and wonders of these animals that lack a backbone but play such important roles in our ecosystems. But before we get started, let me take a moment to share with you what CCD is. CCD stands for Co-Curricular Day, where students develop critical thinking and problem-solving skills as they tackle real-world challenges and learn to analyze and synthesize information. Besides, it also helps them build collaboration and communication skills that are essential for future success. Now, without further ado, let me introduce and thank our panel of judges whose expertise and experience help guide us through today's presentations. On my right, we have Puan Laili Rosma as our first judge, Puan Warnoshatira as our second judge, and Encik Izan Azam as our third judge. Judges, we appreciate your time and contribution to making this event a success. Now, as our students present their findings, they will be evaluated based on several important criteria. 1. Participation, how actively each group member is involved in the presentation. 2. Content, the depth of research and understanding of the assigned invertebrate group. 3. Presentation skills, clarity, confidence, and engagement in delivering their content. 4. Graphics and visuals, how effectively they use visuals to complement their presentation. And lastly, ability to answer questions, how well they respond to the judges' questions, demonstrating their knowledge and critical thinking. Let's move on to our first presentation. Please welcome the first group as they present their topic, annelids.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Auni.
I'm Irfan.
I am Ijaz.
And I'm Imran.
To our respected teachers, Puan Rosma and student of knowledge, today we will be presenting about annelids.
So Zahra, what are annelids?
So basically, annelid is a member of...
Guys, how about before we start, refer to a Quranic verse?
Ijaz, can you read the Quranic verse for us?
Sure. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فلما قضينا عليه الموت ما دلهم على موته إلا دابة الأرض تأكل من سأته فلما خر تبينت الجن أن لو كانوا يعلمون الغيب ما لبثوا في العذاب المهين صدق الله العظيم.
Which means, and when we decreed for Sulaiman's death, nothing indicated to the jinn his death except a creature of the earth eating his staff. But when he fell, it became clear to the jinn that if they had known the unseen, they would not have remained in humiliating punishment. Surah Saba, verse 14.
This surah explains on how when we are buried, there will only be termites, worms, and other creatures that will eat your corpse.
Okay, so back to the question. Can you explain more about the topic?
Okay, so basically, annelid is a member of phylum invertebrates that characterized by the possession of body cavity or column, movable bristles or setae, and a body divided into segmental parts like transverse rings or annulations.
So basically, the advantages of annelids are that they play important role in organic matter, decompose, which also the earthworm break down the soil into finer particles, forming topsoil rich in plant nutrients. Lastly, they are the most significant ecological roles, but the most played by annelids are that they are the most significant ecological role is reworking of soil and sediments.
Then here comes the disadvantages. Firstly, they accumulate toxins and suffer lethal or sublethal effects, which also means the worms alter the physical and chemical properties of soils, changing the pH levels. The pH levels, nutrients and water cycles, and disrupting symbiotic relationships between soil, fungi, and roots. Lastly, worm composting requires semi-regular maintenance, the right balance of moisture in the worm bin, and careful feeding to avoid attracting pests. But wait, talking about nutrients from earthworms, how do they provide nutrients to the soil?
By digesting the soil,
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I know. Earthworm has a complex digestive system consisting of the mouth, pharynx. The earthworm has a complex digestive system consisting of the mouth, pharynx, esophagus, crop, gizzard, intestine, and anus. These organs work together to pass through the soil that they ingest. So basically, the soil goes into the mouth, then the pharynx, which connects the mouth to its esophagus or digestive tract. When the food goes to the digestive tract, the food will be slimy or slippery because of the saliva in the esophagus. After that, it will go to the gizzard, which will store the food that they ate. And then it will go to the, crop. And then after that, it will go to the gizzard, which will grind the food that they ate, like its teeth. Then it will go to the intestine, which absorbs the nutrients into their bloodstreams, and leftover are excreted to its anus. The compost is also called as annelid compost or annelid feces.
So, what are the characteristics of annelids?
Firstly, they have a long and segmented body, which results in its length.
Secondly, their bodies are bilaterally symmetrical, which means that they possess the diversity of each unhinged plane.
They are triboplastics, which mean that they have 3 different cell layers on their body.
The body is covered with a thin cuticle, which makes them slippery.
They are columnate, will also mean the whole body is the main body.
They are divided into 3 classes.
Firstly, Polychaeta.
Secondly, Oligochaeta.
And lastly, Hirudinea.
These are examples of each class.
Okay, so the first is earthworm, which is classified as Oligochaeta. They are a terrestrial animal belonging in the phylum Annelida. Earthworms play a crucial role in soil health and fertility by aerating the soil and breaking down organic matter. Their burrowing activities enhance water infiltration and root growth, while their digestion process enriches the soil with essential nutrients.
Second, which is Hirudinea. Second, which is leech. They are classified as Hirudinea. Leeches are worms that live in water or on land and feed by sucking blood from fish, frogs, lizards, birds, or if they get the chance, larger animals like humans. Leeches suck blood because it is a very good food source for them, and they also suck blood because it is to help them grow and reproduce.
Lastly, which is sea moss. The sea moss is classified as Polychaeta. Its scientific name is Aphrodita acylata. Through its along the substrate of North America, in the substrate of muddy or sandy in the water, Its iridescent bristles can change color when exposed to light, and which can deter predators. They only feed on small animals such as crabs, small fish, and other small animals.
Welcome to Moo Math and Science. In this video, I'd like to talk about the phylum Annelida. The phylum Annelida. Welcome to Moo Math and Science, in which the bodies are made up of a series of identical segments that runs from their head to their tails. Some common examples include the earthworm, leeches, the clamworm, and fireworms. Here are a couple more characteristics of these worms. They have bilateral symmetry. They also include tissues and organs. They have a fluid-filled internal cavity. Their body possesses a digestive system with a mouth and an anus. They have a nervous system with a ventral nerve cord. They have closed circulatory system. They do not have respiratory organs. They reproduce sexually, most of them, and some are hermaphrodites. Probably the most common annelid is the earthworm. There are more than 27,000 kinds of earthworms. They range from a half-inch in length to the largest recorded earthworm ever was 22 feet. Earthworms exist in great numbers, and it is estimated that in a single acre of soil, there may be up to 1 million earthworms.
These are some facts about annelids.
There may be up to
Centuries, due to their complex behaviors and physiological processes, earthworms, for instance, play a crucial role in aerating the soil, which, in addition to their ecological roles, annelids have fascinated scientists for helps plants absorbs nutrients more effectively. Their concerns, burrowing and digestion of organic matter lead to the production of nutrient-rich casting, which act as a natural fertilizer.
Leeches have long been used in medicine, particularly in microsurgery and reconstructive surgery due to their anticoagulant properties. The saliva of leeches contains hirudin, a powerful substance that prevents blood clotting and promotes healing, thus making them invaluable in treating venous congestion and ensuring the success of tissue grafts.
Marine worms, with their vibrant colors and diverse forms, contribute significantly to the health of oceanic environments. They are involved in nutrient cycling, sediment stabilization, and serve as a vital food source for many marine species. Their presence in coral reefs and other marine habitats help maintain the delicate balance of the ecosystem.
Ongoing research into annelid continues to uncover new insights into the genetic regenerative makeup, regenerative capabilities, and potential applications in biotechnology. Scientists are exploring how the regenerative properties of these creatures could be applied to human medicine, potentially leading to breakthroughs in wound healing and tissue regeneration. The study of annelids not only enhances our understanding of these remarkable yet extraordinary creatures, we support the health and diversity of our planet ecosystem. Before we end our presentation, we would like to end it with a trivia time. The rules are, you need to raise up your hand before you answer, and one by one. Don't interrupt your friends. Okay. So basically, you will be given a gift after you answer your question correctly. So the first question is, what are colomates?
Anyone?
What are colomates? Yes, Ines?
Can you be more specific?
Anyone?
Aisha? Yeah, correct.
Okay.
You can come to front.
Okay, on to the next question. Okay, can anyone answer this? What is hermaphrodites? Anyone? Whoever answers this gets 3 ringgit. No one? Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. The second question is, give me 3 examples of of annelid. Not you. You dah jawab dah. Yes, Inas.
Hirudinea, Oligochaeta, and Polychaeta.
Thank you. Okay, the last question is, can anybody explain to me on how does the digestive system in the annelid work? How does it work like?
I don't think anyone can answer this.
Tak boleh. By the way, this is the question for the teachers or the judges.
Don't Google tau.
Sorry, what was the question again?
Can anybody explain me on how does the digestive system in the annelid work like?
Something like that. Okay, but I think that's not a fair question because it's such a long answer. Okay.
Actually, you actually have given the answer to the question.
Yeah, part of it because I didn't go. Thank you.
Should we change the question?
Okay, I would like to answer the second question. What is the meaning of hermaphrodites? Hermaphrodites means in that individual, it contains like male and female parts.
That is correct.
That's all from us. Once again, I'm Zahra.
I'm Auni.
I'm Irfan.
I'm Ijaz.
And I'm Imran.
That's all from us.
Thank you for listening. We express this from the bottom
of our hearts.
Okay, so now we'll open the floor for questions from our judges or comments for this group.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, first I would like to say congratulations for the presentation. It was a very good presentation. I do have a few comments on your slides. Can you guys go to your slide on the categories of annelids? That Hirudinea, Polychaeta, and Oligochaeta. Okay, this one. Okay, so just for your information, when you guys writing scientific names of an organism, you have to write it in italic, or you guys can do it by using underline. You guys need to underline the words. Aphrodita is one word, and Achuleta too is another one word. Okay, so the second, I have question. Okay, so just now you mentioned that annelids is very important in our ecosystem. Okay, in what way these are important, and what happens if on Earth this annelids is extinct?
So basically, when animals are extinct, the soil cannot get enough nutrients, which means that when earthworms are there, the soil becomes better and enriched with nutrients. After that, if they're extinct, our ecosystem will go wrong because you already have a system, which means that the earthworms already have to work in the soil, which will help the trees. And if animals are gone, the trees will not get enough nutrients, and animals wouldn't get food because the trees would be gone. No, we're supposed to put it somewhere, but there's nothing, so there's nowhere to put.
All right, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am not going to comment on the content. Chiza has done the part, so I'm going to comment on the presentation-wise. Right, so overall, it was a good presentation. I love the way that the fact that the flow was very good. The flow from, you guys played the role very well. So you know what you have to do. It doesn't have to be nudged or someone has to tell you, it's your turn, it's your turn. So that was a good one. And then because you do not refer to the slides, you guys, none of you referred to the slides. So I consider that you guys have a very good understanding of what you did, which is a very good thing as well. And then the roles are distributed quite fairly, even though I think the ones talking, like the girls talked a lot as compared to the boys. And not reading from the slide, that is a good thing. That is a good thing. Right, I would like to compliment Irfan for having such a loud and clear voice. I mean, his voice are very loud and clear so that I can understand everything that he said.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the good thing is about each one of you that you are very confident with what you do, with your presentation, which is very good. Once you're confident, you are confident, it means that you guys have given out the best. All right, and then extra material, I saw one of you distributed something to the students, which is good thing. It's just that the worms, oh yeah, this one, should be passed around. Should have been passed around earlier just now. Is there any worms out here? Oh yeah, it is. Okay, all right. Anyway, good presentation. Thank you so much.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. I forgot.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, yeah, as mentioned by the other two judges, great effort, right? Good presentation. What I would like to highlight is that when you present anything, the objective there is to make people understand. So when you want to make people understand, you yourself also have to understand the matter. It really is a great help when you use you simplify the terms used, because quite often when people do the research, then they will just copy whatever words, whatever sentences that they find online, and sometimes the terms used can be quite complicated. So you just reuse the term without you really understanding what it is. But when in your presentation also you use the same term back. So if you do not understand it, then the people listening also will not understand it, but they just take it at face value. The other thing is that it also makes it difficult for you to remember what words to use, when to use, and because the words are just practically meaningless words. So a good guideline whenever you need to present anything, whenever you need to explain anything, go for the simplest word possible. Then that way you will be more fluent in presenting. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, judges. And thank you guys for that wonderful presentation. Now, we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned as we'll be back for shortly for some more exciting presentations. But before we go, let's watch this video prepared by our media team.
Assalamualaikum. Welcome to Sri Eden, where education is more than just academics. It's about nurturing the whole individual. At Sri Eden, we believe in holistic education. Our curriculum is designed not only to excel academically, but also to foster spiritual, moral, and ethical growth, providing a well-rounded educational experience. We employ innovative and interactive teaching techniques, utilizing technology-aided tools and hands-on instruction to engage our students and enhance their learning journey. In addition to academic studies, our school places a strong emphasis on dedicated Islamic studies and Quranic education. Here, students deepen their understanding of Islam, strengthening their faith and connection to their religious heritage. With our small class sizes and low teacher-student ratio, we ensure that every student receives personalized attention and support. This approach fosters effective learning and development, allowing each student to reach their full potential. At Sri Eden, we are more than just a school. We are a family dedicated to providing a nurturing environment where every student can thrive. So, we are looking forward for you to be part of us. Welcome. Assalamualaikum. Welcome to Sri Eden, where education
We're back. Thank you for staying with us. Let's continue with our next presentation. Please give a warm welcome to the second group for their presentation about mollusks.
Today, we will be presenting about mollusk. But before we start, let us introduce ourselves.
My name is Ilhan.
My name is Adam.
My name is Ingrid.
My name is Husna. And my name is Iris. Now, let's go through a short summary of what we will learn for today. The topics that we will go through in this presentation are a Quranic verse about mollusks, what invertebrates are, what mollusks are, the types of mollusks, characteristics, habitats, and examples of the types, and the effects mollusks have on our ecosystem.
Beginning with a verse from the Al-Quran, in Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 96, verse 96, Surah number 5. It is lawful for you to hunt and eat seafood, as provision for you and for travelers. But hunting on land is forbidden to you while on pilgrimage. Be mindful to Allah and to whom you all will be gathered. This verse means that it is permissible to eat sea animals.
Now, let's do a little revision on invertebrates. What are invertebrates? Invertebrates are animals that lack a backbone. Some invertebrates live in water, while some live on land. However, all invertebrates are cold-blooded.
Now, on to our main topic. What are mollusks? Mollusks are invertebrates that have soft bodies. Some mollusk bodies are protected by shells. They live in marine, freshwater, and terrestrial surroundings.
Cuttlefish. The soft body of mollusks contains tissues and organs to carry out life processes. Cuttlefish. They have digestive, respiratory, and circulatory systems. Most mollusks have a specialized mouth structure called a radula, which is a series of tiny teeth used for scraping food particles into the mouth. Mollusks also have a muscular organ called a foot, which is used to move about. A common characteristic of mollusks is a mantle in the form of a shell. Snails and limpets are examples of mollusks with one shell. Clams and scallops have two shells which are hinged on one side. This allows the shell to open and close. All mollusks have bilateral symmetry. All mollusks reproduce sexually, which involves the fertilization of male and female sex cells.
In total, we have 7 different types of mollusks: gastropod, bivalve, cephalopod, polyplacophora, scaphopoda, monoplacophora, and lastly is apocophora.
The first type on our list is gastropod. Gastropod have a large foot. They use it to move around with. The next type on our list is gastropod. Gastropod have a large foot. They use it to move around with, along with tentacles and an outer shell that is truly a sight to see. They live in the deepest depth of the ocean. The minimum being is 5 kilometers underwater and also in freshwater. The example of gastropods are leopard slug, garden snails, and apple snails.
Following after is bivalves. Bivalves are soft-bodied mollusks that have two outer shells called valves. The valves can open and close. Bivalves live in saltwater, rivers, streams, and lakes. Examples include oysters, cockles, and mussels.
The next type of mollusk on our list is cephalopoda. Cephalopods have a head and foot that merge together with tentacles surrounding the head. They live in shallow waters, the open ocean's dark middle depths, and the deep sea. Examples of cephalopods are octopuses, giant squids, and cuttlefish.
Now, here is polyplacophora. Polyplacophora bodies are oval-shaped body covered with a dorsal shell with stiffened mantle edges. They live in the deep sea, and there is only one example called chitons.
The fifth type of mollusk we have is Scaphopoda. Scaphopods have a hollow tubular shell that opens at both ends. They live in marine waters and areas with strong waves. An example of scaphopods is the tusk shell.
The next type of mollusk is Monoplacophora. Monoplacophora have an undivided arc shell. They do not have eyes or sensory tentacles, but they do have a foot retractor muscles. Monoplacophora live in the deep sea. The examples are Levipilina antarctica and Neopilina bruni.
The final type on our list is Aplacophora. Aplacophora don't have shells, but don't let their worm-like body fool you. They are not earthworms. They live in mud from shallow to deep waters. and there is only one example called Solengastrus.
Mollusks have many effects on our ecosystem. An advantage of mollusks is that they can help purify polluted eustrine waters. In the time of climate change, they help sustain salt marshes. Mollusks structure aquatic bottom environments and provide habitat, protection, and food to a wide array of other taxa.
Both mussels and oysters are examples of mollusks that can bring a positive impact to our ecosystem. However, they can also bring disadvantage to our ecosystem.
Some mollusks that we consume eat toxigenic microalgae that can cause food poisoning. They also impact our harvest by eating our crops. Examples of negatively impacting mollusks are Octopus vulgaris and apple snails.
Wow, we have reached the end of our presentation. But firstly, do any of you have any questions? Yes, Zahra?
In this poster, it says that it has both of the reproductive organs. So does that mean that the snails does not have any gender?
Elaborate.
Okay, so basically kan dalam poster ni kan dia kata both of the it has both of the reproductive organs. So does that mean that they have no gender?
They do have genders. I think we couldn't fit both male and female pictures, so we just put them together.
Yes,
okay, thank you.
It's either one.
No more questions? Any questions from the judges?
I can't remember exactly which slide, but I read there something about the type of mollusks, I think, that you have exists in deepest oceans of more than 5 kilometers. Do you recall which slide that was? I think the example given was snail, garden snail. Habitat, deepest oceans beneath 5 kilometers of water. But examples, garden snail, freshwater.
Garden snails live somewhere near freshwater rivers, streams, and.
But that's normal for all animals, right? All animals need a source of water, but they don't really. I wouldn't consider that as a habitat. Okay, but you're sure about your facts here that it comes under this category. Large foot tentacles, coiled shells, that does describe the garden snail. I'm only a bit confused because of that habitat thing. Okay.
Testing. Okay, again, when you guys write scientific names, please make sure you guys write it in italic ataupun or you guys can underline the words. Okay, so my question is, I have seen your poster here, mollusks, snail, barnacles, slugs, and so on. I do have a question. I've noticed that most of the animals, they have shell. like snail, barnacles, mussel, oyster, and clam. But octopus, squid, and cuttlefish, they don't have the shell. But how these group are considered mollusks?
Because they are soft-bodied.
And also their legs are attached to their head.
All right, okay, Assalamualaikum. I'll be commenting on the presentation. Well, the first thing first is, as compared to the first group, Iris explained the table of contents, which I love it because I get to expect what I am going to hear for the next 10 minutes. So that one is, and then I think there's a lot of terms that I do not understand. I'm not a science teacher, but I would appreciate if for any terms that maybe you can pick one or two terms that you can explain to the audience. What does it mean? Because, you know, like myself in a layman's word, I'm left like blank. What does it mean by that? You know, so there's a lot of terms actually, scientific terms. So maybe you can explain one or two. It doesn't have to explain everything because it will occupy, right? And then the flow of explanation, especially for this one, is like you have a lot of examples of types of mollusks. It would be good before you explain octopus, giant squid, example, the habitat. Maybe you can just brief the main topic first, the elements. So we're going to discuss about 3 elements, which is the characteristic, the habitat, and also examples. Because what you guys did is you guys just read the whole thing, like explain the whole thing, merge everything, merge head, foot, tentacles. But there are a few who said that for example, octopus, giant squid. That one is good, but the habitat, characteristics, so I don't know, for certain people maybe they just like, what are they talking about? Are they talking about the characteristics? Are they talking about the habitat? So that one is not, I mean the main element is not mentioned. What are you guys talking about? All right, and then I would like to compliment Iris for having such a loud and clear voice, and the voice projection of hers is very good. She knows when to control the voice high and low. It's good to my ears, and I love listening to you know, her flow.
Thank you very much.
That's all from me. Thank you.
Right. Just a question. Nowadays, we often hear people discourage others from consuming shelled animals. Okay, for example, what do you call oysters and stuff like that. Do you know why? Go back to your slides on you know, the one that had oysters there. No. Okay, yeah. I think that slide just now. Okay, so you had your answers. If you go to the slide before that, before, the one before, okay. There it says that act as biological filter to purify polluted estuarine water. If they are purifying it, that means they retain some of the toxicity. So as a result of them functioning as biological filter, so you go to the next slide. Go to the next slide. Okay, as a result of that, they also become toxic to humans as a result of feeding on. Okay, so this is where I said, no, you have to understand what you present. You have to actually digest it. Then you can make the connection. So you have the information, but it's on separate slides, but you didn't make the connection there. Okay, and then as Teacher Tira mentioned also, a lot of content, and because there's maybe too much content, you're going through it too fast. You have to remember when you present that you have read through your presentation many times. But for the others, they're seeing it for the first time. So you need to give your audience the time to actually read through properly, to digest and to understand. So whenever you're making a presentation, you have to take into consideration what is the knowledge level of your audience, and then whether you want to compress a lot of content in it, that means a lot of variety, or whether to pick and choose and then to give better explanation. Because whatever it is, I realize you are limited by the time. All right, so you need to be able to balance that well. Okay, thank you.
I just want to add a bit on Puan Rosmah mentioned about the microalgae. Actually, in the oceans, we do have a situation or phenomenon is what we call red tide. Red tide. Okay, so red tide happens when the microalgae they bloom and then they contain toxin. So because of these mollusks, they filter feeder, they filter the water, and then the toxins remain in the bodies. But that's why when you guys consume these shell, you guys will get food poisoning. Okay, usually our Jabatan Perikanan, they will give a warning about red tide. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, judges, and thank you guys for that wonderful presentation. Again, we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned as we'll be back shortly for some more exciting presentations. In the meantime, let's watch this video also prepared by our media team. We're back. Thank you for staying with us. Let's continue with our next presentation. Please give a warm welcome to the third group for their presentation on arthropods.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, we're going to present on a topic entitled Arthropod. To Puan Rosman that we respect, to the teachers that we appreciate, and to the students that we acknowledge. Today, before we start, let us introduce our names. As you all might know, my name is Inas.
My name is Zohaira.
And my name is Putra.
And my name is Alja.
Before we start today, I would like to give a precaution to all the judges and pupils who are gathered here to view our presentation. If you are afraid of insects, I would advise you to avert your eyes on any photos that we've displayed. Thank you. I would now like to pass the position to Zohaira.
Thank you, Inas. As for now, I will elaborate about the agenda that we're going to unroll together for today. Firstly, what are invertebrates? The introduction of arthropods, Quranic ayat, arachnids, crustacea, myriapod, hexapod, advantages and disadvantages, life cycle of arthropods, video and poster.
So, what are invertebrates? Well, invertebrates are animals with no internal spine, a body made of joint segments, and a hard covering, like a shell. Invertebrates may have an incomplete or a complete digestive system based on their species. There are 4 and more types of invertebrates, and some of them are the coelentrates, annelids, arthropods, the mollusks, the ectoprocta, and the echinoderms.
So, do you know what our arthropod is? Since our topic is entitled with arthropod, of course we must know about arthropod. So, arthropod is animal that have no internal spine and their body is made of segmented joints and they is covered with a hard covering shell called exoskeleton. For example, you have spider, scorpion, crab, and shrimps. Arthropod is categorized into 4 groups. The first group is arachnid, and the second group is crustacea, the third group is hexapod, and the fourth group is myriapods. As you can see here, this is a sucking ladybug, which is included in the group of hexapod, and this is a ghost crab, which is included in the group of crustacea. Now, let us observe the verse of Allah that He has mentioned in the Al-Quran. Until when they came upon the valley of the ants, and ants say, O ants, enter your dwellings so that you not be crushed by Sulaiman and his soldier while they are perceived not. In this ayat, Allah explained that the ant will not be crushed. But how? Because Allah has created ant with one mechanism, which is exoskeleton. This exoskeleton make the ant 40 times stronger as usual. MashaAllah, what a stunning ayat that Allah has given us. Now, I would like to pass my position to Zohaira.
Thank you, Putra. As for now, shall we plunge deeper into the topic? Of course, all groups of animals must have a subcategory, right? Exactly. Now let us all study about arachnids. So, what are arachnids? Well, most arachnids have segmented body divided into 2 regions, with the front part of 4 pairs of legs, but no antenna. But the back have abdomen and some few other legs. Example, spider, scorpion, and tick.
Now, does anybody here knows what are crustaceans? If you don't know, let me explain it for you. Crustaceans are a large group of mainly aquatic arthropods. They are very different from the others, but most have 4 or more pairs of limbs and other appendages. Examples are the shrimps, lobsters, and crabs.
So Zohara, what are myriapods?
Essentially, myriapods are a member of subphylum Myriapoda containing arthropods such as millipede and centipede. Myriapods are arthropods that have long bodies. Their head have antennae and their bodies are segmented with a pair of 2 legs on each segment.
Thank you, Zahira. Now I would like to talk about hexapod. Hexapod comprises the largest clade of arthropods, which most of the insect arthropod species. Characterized by 6 legs, antennae, and in the insect, the body is usually divided into the head, thorax, and abdomen, but are diverse and heterogeneous. So, what are the differences between arachnid and hexapod? So, as you can see, arachnid has 8 legs, while hexapod has only 6 legs. Now, I would like to give my position to Inas.
All animals must have advantages and disadvantages, right? Well, I will be covering advantages, while Putra will be covering disadvantages later. There are 2 advantages of arthropods. One, they maintain the ecosystem and can also be beneficial for the humans. For example, many insects pollinate plants. 2, they produce useful substance, act as pest control, and serve as food for other animals and also humans.
Now, I will be explaining about the disadvantages of arthropod. Arthropod may have many other disadvantages, but today I only will cover 3 of them. So the first one, the exoskeleton of arthropod need to go through a complex process called molting. If they don't go through the complex process called molting, they will get a vulnerable injury. Second, exoskeleton can restrict their flexibility due to its rigidity in some area. This will limiting their ability to explore a new wide environment. And the last one, insect and arachnid bites can be fatal to human because his poisons, such as disease malaria, which is brought by mosquitoes. Now I would like to pass my position to Inas.
Thank you, Putra. All animals must have a start to life, right? Like that one question almost everybody has been asking about, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Well, to answer that, we don't know exactly, but only Allah knows the answer to it. Moving back to the topic, arthropods also have a life cycle. The life cycle of arthropods starts with the egg. The egg is usually rich in yolk, but in all groups there are some species whose eggs have a little yolk. The second phase is the larval or the nymphal stage. The larval or the nymphal stage consists of a young arthropod that is sooner going to grow into an independent adult. The last phase of the life cycle is the adult. The adult consists of a fully grown arthropod that can live on its own. I'll now like to pass the position to Alja.
Now, let's all watch an informative video about arthropods.
Do you know what kind of animals they are? You don't? Don't worry, I'll explain it to you in a jiffy. Arthropods are very different from one another, but they have. Do you know what kind of animals they are? You don't? Don't worry, I'll explain it to you in a jiffy. Arthropods are very different from one another, but they have a lot of things in common too. They have an external skeleton called the exoskeleton, which protects the soft parts of their body. Some arthropods shed their exoskeleton several times throughout their life. This is how they grow. This process is called molting. Arthropods have jointed legs. They use their legs to move around. Depending on the number of legs they have, we divide arthropods in different groups. Insects have 6 legs, like this ant. Arachnids have 8 legs, like this spider. Crustaceans have 10 legs, like this crab. Myriapods have more than 10 legs, like millipedes. Arthropods live on land, in the water, and they can even fly. These are some interesting facts about arthropods. Arthropods is the largest group in the animal kingdom. There are more than 10 million different types of arthropods in the world. Massive. Did you know that there's an ant species which can lift 100 times its body weight? This is equivalent to a human lifting the weight of 4 cars. Amazing. And that is all about arthropods, folks. Cheerio.
So we have reached the end of our presentation. But before we end our presentation, do any of you have any questions? You can ask us anything you don't understand about the topic. Please raise your hand to ask us a question. Anyone? We really appreciate your presence here and thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Now, we'll open the floor for questions from our judges or comments for this group.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, a very good presentation. Okay, I've just read on your poster, it mentions that the advantage of arthropod is act as a pest controls. So as we all know, butterfly is also in a group of arthropods, right? So the larva of butterfly is a caterpillar, right? So we all know caterpillar is a pest, okay? So that fits on the plant. So how can you say that arthropods is actually that can act as a pest control? Instead, they are pests actually. Okay, I'll just simplify the question. Okay, your poster mentions that these arthropods, they act as a pest control, right? Okay, but my question is, we all know caterpillars is a pest, but in what way these arthropods can actually act as pest control? Okay, how can these arthropods can help in controlling the pests?
Okay. Arthropods may be pests, but there are species who are arthropods also, but they eat other arthropods too.
Can you give me example?
Okay, a fly is an example of a hexapod, and a spider is an example of an arachnid. Spiders have like webs, so they trap flies on their webs and eat them.
Okay, that one is a very good one. I do have another example actually for this one. In a group of insects, we do have a parasitic wasp. Okay, do you guys know what is parasitic wasp? So these parasitic wasps actually they lays egg inside of a caterpillar. So when the egg hatch into a larva, so this larva will eat on that caterpillar. So this is a biological control actually. Okay, thank you.
All right, assalamu alaikum. For the presentation, I think it was a good presentation. Everyone played the role very well. I love the fact that Akil Putra explained the Quranic verse part because I do not find them in any other groups. So instead of just reading it, you explained it as well. That is a good one. All right, congratulations for that. And then I think it was a good flow. I love the fact that you guys mentioned the name. Now I will pass the mic to Akil Putra. Now I'll pass the mic to Inas. And I love that there's a flow to each before you pass the mic to your members. And then for each of the slide, you provided us with questions, like an interrogative question, so that you, before explaining the cycle, you give some examples of how people question about which one comes first, eggs or chicken, and we don't know, right? So I love the fact that you do that. And then it was for every single slide, like, I'm impressed with that. So, all right, so that was a good one, actually. I would like to compliment Zuhaira, Inas, and every single one of you. I think the explanation is it's easy for me to understand. Right? Congratulations.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Just like to comment on the ayat Quran that you all quoted just now. You said that Allah made the ants stronger than normal. I think the figure quoted was 40,000 times stronger?
40 times.
40 times stronger, okay. Yet, as the army of Sulaiman was approaching, the head ant actually told his friends to go underground. Why?
Because so they not be crushed by Sulaiman and his soldier.
Okay, but you know they're already 40 times stronger.
Because to help them survive.
Help them survive. Okay, I can accept that. I think what we need to learn from this is that no matter what Allah has blessed you with, it's something that you cannot take for granted. So the ant didn't say, it's okay, we are 40 times stronger than normal, we can just stay here and will not be crushed. So whatever you have been blessed with, you still have to make the extra effort, right, to ensure that you get what you want or that you survive. So the extra effort that they made was to go underground, just to increase their survival rate. All right. So that is what you'll be given with, plus the effort that you need to make, and then you dua to Allah. Please, save us. Right. Good answer. And the other one, the fact that they shed their shell several times during their life. Why do they need to shed their shells? Why can't they just use the same shell?
They can't use the same shell because the shell they are using currently might get damaged, and if they get damaged, they might be vulnerable to harms.
I don't know. I suspect that's not the accurate answer. Any other suggestions? It's very, it requires just logical thinking actually. I mean, if you think, your clothes, your uniform, you buy a set when you were in, let's say, primary 4. Quite often, by the time you're primary 6, you have to change. You cannot use the same uniform. Why?
It will not fit.
Yeah, because your body is growing, but the uniform is the same size. So the same thing with the shell. The animal, as they proceed through life, the internal body is getting bigger and bigger. So the shell is not getting any bigger. So at the point when it becomes tight, they will have to actually break out of that shell and form a new shell. Okay, right. Presentation, again, to me, I hope the next group take note. Try to slow it down a bit, not too fast, because none of you are actually exceeding the 15 minutes allocated. Right, or rather, you hear the second bell of 10 minutes, you quickly end your presentation. Like, I have to get out of this place. Okay, give us time to digest and to really appreciate what you have put up, because you've got a lot of very nice slides here, but you're rushing through. Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, judges, and thank you guys for that stunning presentation. Again, we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned as we'll be back shortly for the last presentation. We're back. Thank you for staying with us. Let's continue with our last presentation. Please welcome the last group as they present their topic, co-elentrates.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, we will be presenting about co-elentrates. Now, before we start, I would like to thank our respected principal, Puan Rosma, our fair judges, our beloved teachers, and the students whom we care for being present today. Before we start, let us introduce ourselves. My name's Aisha.
My name is Alicia.
My name is Amira.
My name is Amshar Ali.
My name is Amshar Tufail.
And my name is Haziq.
So in today's presentation, we will be presenting about a Quranic verse, invertebrates, an introduction to co-elentrates, types of co-elentrates, a co-elentrate's body, and lastly reproduction.
I will start this presentation by explaining a Quranic verse that's related to this topic. The meaning of this Quranic verse is that Allah has created from water every living creature. Some crawl on their bellies, some walk on 2 legs, and some walk on 4. Allah creates whatever He wills. Surely Allah is the most capable of everything. Surah An-Nur, ayat 45.
Now, what are invertebrates? Invertebrates are any animal that has no backbone or any internal skeleton at all. Most of them have protective structures and defenses. There are 6 classes of invertebrates. Firstly, coelentrates, arthropods, mollusks, porifera, annelids, and echinoderms. But today, we will only be focusing on the category of coelentrates.
Thank you, Aisha. Now I will be sharing with you an introduction about coelentrates. So, what are coelentrates? Coelentrates are a type of invertebrate that are a part of the phylum Cnidaria. They are often predators feeding on planktons, small fish, and other invertebrates. They are characterized by their radially oriented bodies that has tentacles with stinging cells and a single entrance to the gut. They are categorized into 3 major groups, which are hydrozoans, cyphozoans, and anthozoans. Now I will allow Alicia to explain more about the 3 groups.
Thank you, Amira. As Amira said, there's 3 types of coelentrates: hydrozoans, cyphozoans, and anthozoans. Let's go to hydrozoans first. Hydrozoans found in nearly all marine habitats and normally form colonies. For example, the Portuguese manowar, Obelia, and Hydra. Let's continue to cyphozoans. Cyphozoans is a typically jellyfish and can be found in all oceans. Their life cycles involves an alternation between the polyp phase and the medusa's phase. As you can see in the picture, it started from polyp phase, medusa's phase, and back again to polyp phase. Lastly is anthozoans. Anthozoans is the largest class of coelentrates and can be found in all oceans. Unlike other coelentrates, these coelentrates does not have a medusa stage in their development. For example, corals, sea anemone, sea fans, and sea pans. Next, I will be passing my mic to Haziq.
Now I will be explaining about a coelentrate's body. I will mainly be explaining about the main body types, how jellyfish stings, and their body types. Their main body characteristics. They have no skeletal structure, but they have a simple tissue organization instead. They are radially symmetrical and cylindrical. They have tentacles that help them capture their prey and are used for defense purposes. Mouth or anus, responsible for both ingestion and excrement. The body wall of a coelenterate consists of 3 layers. The epidermis being the outermost, the mesoglea being the middle layer, and the gastrodermis being the inner layer.
Now-
The gastrovascular cavity, which serves digestion and circulatory functions.
Now let's watch an educational video on how jellyfish sting.
You're swimming in the ocean when something brushes your leg. When the tingling sets in, you realize you've been stung by a jellyfish. How do these beautiful gelatinous creatures pack such a painful punch? Jellyfish are soft because they are 95% water and are mostly made of a translucent gel-like substance called mesoglea. With such delicate bodies, they rely on thousands of venom-containing stinging cells called cnidocytes for protection and prey capture. Even baby jellyfish, the size of a pencil eraser, have the ability to sting. Larval jellyfish, look like tiny flowers pulsating in the sea. As they grow, they become umbrella-shaped with a bell at the top and descending tentacles around the margin. The largest species of jellyfish, the lion's jellyfish, has tentacles that can extend more than 100 feet, longer than a blue whale. These tentacles contain most of the stinging cells, although some species have them on their bells too. Venom is ejected via a nematocyst, a whip-like hollow tubule, which lies coiled under high osmotic pressure. When mechanical or chemical stimuli activate an external trigger, the lid of the cell pops open and seawater rushes in. This forces a microscopic barbed harpoon to shoot out, penetrate and inject venom into its victim. Nematocyst discharge can occur in less than a millionth of a second, making it one of nature's fastest biomechanical processes. Nematocysts.
Okay, now we'll be discussing the information that we have taken out from the video. So, as we saw in the video, the stinging cells are located in the tentacles, and venom is ejected via a nematocyst, which is a whip-like hollow tube which lies coiled under high pressure. Now, this stinging cell can be triggered by either mechanical or chemical stimuli, and once triggered, the lid of the cell pops open and seawater rushes in, forcing the nematocyst or a microscopic barbed harpoon to shoot out and inject its venom. Now, I will be passing the mic to Amshar Ali.
So now I will be sharing with you the 2 body types of coelentrates, which are polyp and medusa. Firstly, polyp. Their cells can't move very freely and are normally attached to something else. Their mouth and tentacles face upwards, and they can reproduce both asexually and sexually. Examples include the sea anemone, sea pens, and hydra. Secondly, medusa. They're mobile and move freely. Their mouth and tentacles face downwards and only reproduce sexually. Examples include the jellyfish and the Portuguese man of war.
Now I will be talking about the reproduction. Coelentrates can reproduce sexually and asexually. Does anyone here know how they can reproduce sexually? No? Well, that's okay. I will be explaining it to you. For sexual reproduction, the male releases sperm, and for the females to collect and fertilize their eggs. The eggs then soon hatch into larvae called planulae and are sent out. The planulae settle on something solid like a rock and develop into a small polyp. Eventually, it will develop ridges at its sides. The ridges become more pronounced and are called ephyras. The ephyras press and convulse to free themselves and are now jellyfish. For asexual reproduction, the polyp creates a clone of itself. This process is called budding. Eventually, they will develop ridges at its sides. The ridges become more pronounced and are called ephyras. The ephyras flex and convulse to free themselves and are now jellyfish.
Okay, now I have a question. Who here knows the difference between sexual and asexual reproduction? Okay, if you know, you know. But for those who don't know, we'll be covering that now. So in sexual reproduction, it involves the fertilization of an egg with a sperm from the male jellyfish or the male polyp, and it involves two parents. However, asexual reproduction involves the process of budding or making a clone of itself, which is normally done by a polyp. So as you can see here, budding starts with it starts with a sort of bud at the side, and then the bud sort of develops a mouth and tentacles, and when the bud is fully independent, it will pop off and live as an independent polyp. And asexual only involves one parent. Thank you for listening.
Any questions?
Okay, thank you guys. Now we'll open the floor for questions from our judges or comments for this group.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, congratulations, a very good presentation. Okay, I do have one question. Okay, you mentioned now these jellyfish, they do have stings, right? Okay, and also sea anemone, right? Okay, so I think most of us have watched Finding Nemo, right?
Yes.
So we all know. So clownfish, they live near to the sea anemone, but how come this clownfish does not get attacked by the sea anemone?
I think it's because maybe the stinging cell is only activated when like animals that harm the sea anemone come. But unlike other fish or animals, the clownfish actually help the sea anemone because it gives like food. Like when eaten, there are scraps, and the scraps are eaten by the sea anemone. So in return, the anemone gives it like protection from other animals.
Okay, the answer is almost correct. But actually, clownfish, they produce some sort of mucus on their skins. And then this kind of mucus, they contain some sort of chemical does not trigger that sea anemone. Okay, and then these clownfish and sea anemone, actually they form a symbiosis, a relationship. Is what we call mutualism. Means they both get benefits. Okay, so clownfish, just like Asha mentioned, they get protection from the sea anemone, and then in returns, so when these enemies want to attack this clownfish, so this sea anemone, they will attack that enemies. So in turns, they will get food. Okay, thank you.
Assalamualaikum. First comment, I think it was an abrupt stop. I mean, at the end, you ended your presentation just like, oh, is it done? Because there's no like no disclaimer from someone saying, okay, that's all from us today. Thank you for listening. Nothing like that. So it was an abrupt stop for me. First thing first, because you have a lot of pictures or images, reproduction, you explaining about the cycle. So I think it would be good if the person explaining that stand next to the slides and then just show it, because by just explaining without pointing to the image when the image is already there, so I think it made me understand easier. I think so. So and then I was wondering if the slides are equally distributed, because I'm sure to only explain one slide, which is a reproduction, and then Aisha, she did point when she was explaining about the reproduction, so she tried hard to step forward and then pointed to the image. I mean, that was good because I was expecting someone to do that from your group. And then smile, please. The only one who smiles, I think, is Alicia. The rest of you are not smiling. All right, okay. I think that's all from me. Thank you so much.
I second what Teacher Tira mentioned about the sudden stop. I was evaluating and noting things down and said, oh, it's ended. Okay. However, I love the general flow of the presentation. Right. I love Aisha's voice. To me, when you started talking, like, okay, I settled down. I calmed down. It's a very soothing voice. Your pace is correct, because I've mentioned a few times that people are talking too fast. So you had slowed down and at the correct pace that I also could internalize what you say properly. I could follow it slowly. That's why I said it calmed me down. All right. Good pronunciation as well, and you had the confidence there. Even in answering Teacher Izzat's question just now, you had the confidence. It's good that you were able to think and to digest and figure out an answer. Okay, it's not exactly correct, but it was getting there. All right. So that also shows quite a high degree of understanding of what you have presented. The what Portuguese men of war was mentioned, I think 3 times during the name, but I still do not know what is the Portuguese men of war.
The Portuguese man of war is, let me find a slide with a photo. Back lagi. Okay. Yeah. So the Portuguese man of war is actually something similar to a jellyfish. It's actually an animal.
So it's not a jellyfish, it's a different...
Not, but it's very similar, and it's actually one very poisonous. It's very poisonous animal.
But not classified as a jellyfish. It's not a type of jellyfish.
No, it's a separate.
It's totally
it's a separate.
thing.
Okay, in case one is wondering, the reason why it's not considered a jellyfish is because a jellyfish is one single organism. However, Portuguese man of war is actually very small medusa and polyps working together as a single organism. So that is why they are considered as under hydrozoans, because it's actually like a community of coelentrids.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, judges. And thank you guys for the amazing presentation. Before we go for a short break, I'd like to invite Puan Rosma to deliver her final remarks about the whole presentation.
Okay. Thank you very much for that welcome. It's been, I think, a taxing time for us judges. Yeah? So much information was communicated. It shows the amount of work that you have put in, the research that you have done. Along the way, I have made comments about how you can further improve. Okay? So as I mentioned, whenever you make a presentation, the whole idea is that you want people to understand, people to gain knowledge. So you cannot transmit the knowledge to others if you yourself do not have the knowledge. So for you to have the knowledge, you have to understand what it is that you read and what it is that you put in your slides. So simplify the words that you come across, make it words that you understand, and then so that when you are presenting, you are also pronouncing the words properly, rather than you are trying to pronounce very difficult words. And as normal, whenever you present anything, there is a certain level of nervousness and anxiety. right? Such that even it's a common, easy words, so you tend to mispronounce. So what more when it's words that you are trying to memorize how it is spelled and things like that, then it affects the flow of the presentation. Okay, so the other thing that I found missing is the interaction with the slides that you present. Right? It's good to have a bit more movement there, whereby when you have something on, maybe get, what do you call it, the laser pointer, if you did not actually go to the slide and point out certain things. Right? Because then there's the connectivity there. The pace, I mentioned that Aisha had a very good pace, so it's something that maybe you also can try and emulate or copy. Do not rush through your presentations. Do not rush through reading your script there. All right? Take it easy, calm down, so that others also, so that your audience will not become too anxious to try and keep pace with you because you're just going too fast. Otherwise, Alhamdulillah, congratulations on all the hard work done. Right, and we hope that you also pick up certain points that you can work on to improve, because the whole exercise here, besides knowing what you know, is to know what you don't know. All right, besides knowing what are your strengths, to also find out how you can improve in the next round of your presentation, which will be next year. All right, so thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Puan Rosmah. Now we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned as we'll be back shortly for the award ceremony for the best group and the best speaker.
Assalamualaikum. Welcome to Sri Eden, where education is more than just academics. It's about nurturing the whole individual. At Sri Eden, we believe in holistic education. Our curriculum is designed not only to excel academically, but also to foster spiritual, moral, and ethical growth, providing a well-rounded educational experience. We employ innovative and interactive teaching techniques, utilizing technology-aided tools and hands-on instruction to engage our students and enhance their learning journey. In addition to academic studies, our school places a strong emphasis on dedicated Islamic studies and Quranic education. Here, students deepen their understanding of Islam, strengthening their faith connection to their religious heritage. With our small class sizes and low teacher-student ratio, we ensure that every student receives personalized attention and support. This approach fosters effective learning and development, allowing each student to reach their full potential. At Sri Eden, we are more than just a school. We are a family dedicated to providing nurturing environment where every student can thrive. So, we are looking forward for you to be part of us. Welcome. Assalamualaikum. Welcome to Sri Eden, where education is more than just academics. It's about nurturing the whole individual. At Sri Eden, we believe in holistic education. Our curriculum is designed not only to excel academically, but also to foster spiritual, moral, and ethical growth, providing a well-rounded educational experience. We employ innovative and interactive teaching techniques, utilizing technology-aided tools and and hands-on instruction to engage our students and enhance their learning journey. In addition to academic studies, our school places a strong emphasis on dedicated Islamic studies and Quranic education. Here, students deepen their understanding of Islam, strengthening their faith and connection to their religious heritage. With our small class sizes and low teacher-student ratio, we ensure that every student receives personalized attention and support. This approach fosters effective learning and development, allowing each student to reach their full potential. At Sri Eden, we are more than just a school. We are a family dedicated to providing a nurturing environment where every student can thrive. So, we are looking forward for you to be part of us. Welcome.